everyone. This is Tammy Scott, Nursing Home Administrator with BLAHC, BLAHC. This is episode 22. Yes, I have been gone because I've been a little busy. Yes, a little busy, but not for so long. So, we have an interesting topic on this episode 22. On this episode, we will discuss the difference between a state-owned nursing home versus a regular-owned nursing home. So yeah, it's a big difference. It's a whole way big difference. It's a lot of things that have been going on in the Supreme Court. So that's the reason why I want to talk, because I talk about what is the difference between the state-owned nursing homes and privately owned nursing homes, which is totally different. So let's get into it. So a privately owned nursing home is basically a regular owner who goes in, who wants to purchase a nursing home. They purchase a lot of nursing homes and they put an LLC on it and all that other stuff, but mainly it's an owner that's over it. That means that it's a specific person that over it. Yeah, you probably have a executive board or something of that nature, if it depends on if it's for profit or non-profit. But if it's more for profit, but there's a main CEO that's at the top, and that person is not government. This person is basically, it could be anybody. It could be an investor, or it can be anyone who wants, that's their property, that's their own. Like you will go own a store, it's theirs, it's their business. So there is the difference between a state-owned nursing home. So now you talk about a state-owned nursing home. So there's a lot of states that try to have state-owned nursing home, but it didn't go so well. I have my notes. You guys know I keep my notes. So states like Utah, Texas, Oklahoma, and Idaho, Wyoming was trying to do it, but not successful. The major state that is successful is Indiana. They are very successful at it, but the issue comes by is the fact that their nursing homes is ranking very low. The reason it's ranking very low is due to the quality of care that the residents are receiving. A lot of individuals feel that they are not receiving the quality of care as other nursing homes in other states due to regulations. That being because it's a state-owned nursing home. So let's get into what is state-owned nursing homes. Okay, so like I said, Indiana is definitely number one at the top of having state-owned nursing homes. They have basically 22 county hospitals that's basically own like 93% of its nursing homes. So basically the county hospitals owns the nursing homes. Yeah, it's kind of it's different. Like, I have heard that certain hospitals, have nursing homes. Like, you will hear certain individuals, like, yeah, you probably be an administrator of a nursing home, but you probably be under a hospital, which is kind of like a little different. I know some, like Georgia, probably have it. It was just a little different, and other individuals probably have it. It's very rare. But in Indiana, it's very popular to have the hospitals, the county hospitals, over the nursing homes. And you would think, say, okay, if the county hospitals are over the nursing homes, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. So as a nursing home administrator, there have been times where it's been hard for us to communicate to hospitals because they go by different regulations than the actual nursing homes, because nursing home is regulated by CMS, basically the Center Medicaid Services. So you have Medicaid and Medicare. So that's what it is. So that's the reason why it's kind of different. And hospitals basically have JCO. So it's kind of a little different where basically it's regulated, but it's different in Indiana. So basically the state hospitals basically owns the nursing home. So you would say, okay, if they own a nursing home, that's good, because if they have the hospitals there and the nursing homes there, they already know the residents. They get the residents to the hospital with no problems. Then everything would be like so lined up, like softwares. Everything would be so lined up, like the doctors and everything, the health providers, everything would be so lined up. It was like so smooth, like they should be on like top of everything. But no, it's not. Reason being is the hospital bills for all the services that is needed for residents in nursing homes. So they receive the reimbursement. The hospitals receive the reimbursement. They get the money. Like the owners would get the money, like if a regular nursing home, but the hospitals are now getting the money. So if the hospitals are getting money, they are building extra services that probably another nursing home in a different state probably would not bill, or the expense of it. So they say a nursing home over here probably have this medications right here, and they have this medications, and they was like, okay, this medication probably, I'm just saying, over here for this brand that this resident probably needs, probably like $15. But if you have this medication right here that the hospital said that we are in connections with the pharmacy, well, this medication is the medication that the resident needs for their whatever diagnosis that they have, and it could be $200. So they will build it for $200 versus this small amount of nursing home that's over here. So that could be a difference, because this nursing home right here will basically get way more money than the nursing homes over here. So the average nursing home, probably average bed, probably 80, 100, whatever. They probably profit almost like $1 million or $2 million a year. But if you have these nursing homes right here, who basically are owned by these county hospitals, they can profit make probably like $5 million a year. But that's just the nursing home. We're not talking about the hospital. The hospital making boo-hoos of money because it's a hospital. So the hospital executives are now over the nursing home. So the issue now being is when they are over the money of the hospitals, they are giving the money back into the hospital, but not diverting the money to the nursing home like it needs to be. But if they diverted the money from the hospital to the nursing homes, they would have enough money to be able to help out with the getting CNAs that they like nursing homes really need, and they would be able to pay them a nice affordable salary, probably like $15 an hour, $17 an hour, and they can afford that with benefits. They can be able to afford this. So Indiana having a staffing issue, a lot of people wondering how is that a staffing issue with this hospital over here who owns it makes so much money off this nursing home due to services. They should be able to take that money and divert it into nursing homes, easy, simple, and be able to get these CNAs, be able to get individuals in training courses, because you have this hospital who's big, so they be able to get the training, the courses, everything. They have all the RNs, everything that's over there. So you have this hospital, so why is it an issue for you having CNAs? Because you already linked with the hospital. So everything should be already smooth. So it shouldn't be a staffing issue on that point. But the issue is Indiana have a huge staffing issue when it comes to nursing homes. So if there's an issue with the staffing issues in Indiana, of course, that comes with the quality of care. The quality of care will decrease. So if the quality of care decrease, then you have CNAs will have a certain amount of residents per ratio, which can be very, very deadly, and it can be very, very straining on CNAs. A lot of CNAs get very strained on there. Been there, did that. Yes, you will have a complaint. Yes, you will have issues. But on a consistent basis, when individuals know that these hospitals are over this nursing home, it feels a certain type of way, because in Indiana, like, wait, this hospital is over us. Why are we going through this? They have all the RNs over there. They have the doctors. They have everything that's over there. They can put the courses together. They can do this, that, and the third, and we can be able to get CNAs. There's no reason or issues for us to be having these issues. So why are we having these issues? Let's get into it. So that is one of it's the money. It's basically money. Then you say, okay, Tammy, if it's the money, well, the government can regulate it. So now it's becoming an issue, because all this stuff is now government. So by all this stuff right here about is government, I have my notes, so I'm gonna break some down for you so you'll be able to understand it more. So basically, if you say it's the government, so why is it an issue? Because last year in January in 2022, the Senate had a bill called is 405. Yeah, Senate Bill 405, which basically was scraped. That would basically force county hospitals to disclose how much executives get paid and how much money is diverted to nursing homes. They scrapped that. So individuals in there was trying to figure out, where is this money going to? How much money these executives are making, because these executives are at the hospital level. So how much are these executives really making, and how much money is diverted into nursing homes? So basically that was happening last year, January 22. They scraped it. So they tried their best to try to make a bill out of it, but guess what? It got scraped. So I wanted to put that out before I get in more detail, so you can understand that they did try to do that, but it got scraped. So let's get into more into it. So there is, wait a minute, I have to get my information. You know I like to have my notes. Okay. So what happened is they are not releasing the information because they call it a trade secret. Yeah, a trade secret. So basically on a trade secret, they feel like they cannot give out information because it's on a government level. So that's the reason why they put the bill out. So when the bill got scraped, they can't put it out because of the trade secret, due to contracts. So they have contracts with among each other, so they can't give it out because basically, by this being a state-owned nursing homes, they have a contract on a state and federal level, which is totally different from any other nursing homes. So there are contracts that are in place, and money are associated with these contracts, so these information cannot get out. So that's the reason why they a lot of individuals, you talking about on the state government side, you never know who getting paid what, how much they getting paid to do what, to say what. So that's the reason why that information is not out, and that's the reason why Indiana been so successful at it. So we're going to get more into detail about it. So what happened is, let's say someone decides that they want to file a malpractice claim. Now it's totally different. So basically, if you go to any other state, that individual could basically go get an attorney from wherever they want to be able to do that. But in Indiana, it's totally different because now it's state regulated. It's state owned. So by it being state owned, because they have what they call a malpractice claim process. Basically, with this malpractice claim process, they have what's called a state medical review panel. So it's not public. It's not public at all because it's on the hospital level. So basically, they have a state medical review panel. So you ask Tammy, what is a state medical review panel? Okay, so it would have 4 individuals. The first person would be the chair, who is the attorney. That is the chair of the panel. Then you have 3 healthcare workers of any sort who would be panelists. Okay, so the chair, which is the attorney, based on the case, they will select, basically they will have like different lists of individuals that they want to have on the panel. So first, the plaintiff will pick a healthcare provider. They have a right to pick a healthcare provider on their side that they feel that they want. So the plaintiff would pick one. The defendant would pick one. So they say something must happen, and I'm just saying that we're going to stick with, we in a nursing home. So if something happened, like a resident passed away and they had a heart attack and they left the person in there, and there's an issue when it comes to the heart attack or something like that, probably need cardiologists or something like that. So the plaintiff would be able to pick them a healthcare provider. The defendant would pick them a healthcare provider. Then the chair, which is the attorney, will have 3 panelists, probably 3 cardiologists. This right here, where they have is called a striking process. A striking process. So the defendant would go first. they would strike first. So they were like, okay, these are the 3 people that the chair picks. Okay, chair, give 3 individuals. The defendant strikes 1. They said, we don't like this person. Strike. Then the plaintiff would come and they would then strike. They were like, no, we don't like this person right here. So the last person that's left will be the 3rd person on the panel. These 3 individuals will vote. The chair cannot vote. The attorney cannot vote. They cannot vote at all. Only the panelists can vote. So based on that, so what end up happening after you do all of that, they have what they call a submission schedule. So individuals on both sides, the plaintiffs have, the defendants have, they would submit all their documentations to the process. So they would submit all documentation, like investigation, medical records, all this stuff, so they could be able to review it on both ends. But the panelists cannot get the information beforehand. They have to actually wait until the day when all of this stuff comes available. Just like you go to court, and the jury would not get the information ahead of time. You have to wait until when a jury is there for the trial, then they will have to wait until the information is presented on both sides. So that's basically what it is. So they cannot get the information at all. So basically they have to wait. So they end up waiting until they get the information. Then they the plaintiff would say their side and the defendant would say their side, but they also have a time where they will be able to get rebuttals. So rebuttals are included during this time. And after they give their part, anything like that, the panelists would come together and give their opinion. This right here would take up to 30 days. So up to 30 days, the panelists would give their opinion. They would give a written letter of their opinion of who was at fault, what was happening, and everything. So they would get their opinion. The plaintiffs still have the right, if they would like to sue any individual based on their opinion. They can use that admissible in court because it's evidence to show that, okay, look, we did go through the panel review process, and this is the opinion, and this is their opinion on the issue. But some individuals find that very heartening, and a lot of individuals feel like, okay, they have a process that they go through, which is a nice process. You got these individuals right here. They can stop a step, and it can be private, on a private level, instead of going public, and y'all can be able to take care of it here. And based on their opinion, they can say, okay, based on our opinions that we have right here, we think that this right here probably happened, or this right here happened, or something of the sort. And they will be able to help the families, the plaintiff, be able to come up with a decision if they want to sue or not sue, or take it to the next level. If they want to be able to get an attorney and pay for all that, it's very expensive. But some individuals feel like that is wrong, because why do I have to go through this whole process as a medical review? Because it's a hospital. I should go directly and sue directly to the nursing home, and also to the federal individuals, which is the hospital corporation. I should be able to do that. And a lot of individuals say, no, you can't do that. They say, why not? If I have a case of abuse, or I have a case of anything, I should be able to go directly and sue for a civil lawsuit, just like any other state would do. And in Indiana, you can't do that. So that's where it becomes an issue. So what end up happening is, I have my notes. So basically what ended up happening is, there was a case that happened. It's called the Health and Hospital Corporation versus Talevski. Okay, Talevski. So it was basically a dementia resident who was admitted into a nurse home in 2016. Okay, and the husband had dementia, and the wife felt as if the husband mental basically health deteriorated. She felt like it deteriorated based on the psychotropic medication that was given. She felt like the psychotropic medication was given as a chemical restraint, which is illegal. You cannot do that. You cannot give resident medications as a chemical restraint. Like they say, a resident is going to another room, in a different room, they keep going, or they won't sit down, they won't stay seated or anything of some sort. You can't give them a medication so they can stay seated, or they can stay in their room or something of their nature. Can't do that because it's considered a chemical restraint. They have rights, so they cannot do that. So she felt like it was at that time they was using these psychotropic medication to chemically restrain him. So then they decided to reduce the medications. So at first he was able to walk, feed himself, bathe himself, but of course he have dementia, so he probably needs a little assistance, like cues or anything to go this way, that way, or anything of some say some of anything. So mostly like redirecting, probably so. But they said that the wife felt like his health was deteriorating because once he get on these psychotropic medications, he can't feed himself, he can't walk, he's basically can't do anything for himself. But once the medication got reduced, because she was complaining, he was able now to feed himself, he was able to now walk, he was able to do all these things now. So she felt like because of the psychotropic medication, that was making him slouchy and all this stuff, and not able to help, they wasn't helping him. And so because of that, the facility, she felt like the facility was making issues, stating that the fact that her husband was harassing female residents and going in their rooms and all the other stuff. And they kept taking him to, admitting him to psychiatric hospitals without calling her. And also tried to admit him into a dementia facility without her permission or without his permission. And she felt like that was very, very wrong on them to do so. So she wanted to basically file a civil lawsuit. So that's becoming new. That's in the stories right now, is the fact that the wife is now suing the hospital, the Health and Hospital Corporation. Not only is she suing them, she also suing the American Senior Communities LLC, but basically the nursing home. So she's suing the hospitals and nursing homes. So basically, what's the issue going on this case is the fact that in the Supreme Court they have what is called a Section 1983. Okay, so with the Section 1983 was, it allows the families to sue nursing homes for civil lawsuits directly, enforcing their rights guaranteed under the federal programs. Excuse me. So, a lot of individuals argue with this. So basically, what the argument was that the Section 1883, Section 1983, it was basically it was basically, they felt that that section was only for individuals of, I have my notes, I have to get it together. Let me put it. Okay, they said based on the Section 1983, it was basically the aftermath of the Civil War to protect the rights of the newly freed former slaves and allies. That's what they are basically saying. They feel that Section 1983 only protects that. But the Supreme Court Justice Brown, the newly elected Supreme Court Justice Brown Jackson, stated that no, that is not all that's there. So when she looked at it, she said it allows individuals to sue for violations of their rights, secured by the Constitution or federal laws, to include all laws. All laws. So now the argument is the word laws. That's the argument. Laws. They are saying, the hospital attorney is saying laws. Basically, laws back in this time when Section 1983 was created, it was for the civil rights and equal protection of laws. That's the reason why it's for civil rights and equal protection of laws. But Supreme Court justice is, they are saying no, it's all laws. It's basically all laws, which basically they're federal laws, and they should be able to sue on their level. So what ended up happening is she decided to sue. So when she decided to sue, it went to the district court and it got approved. The motion got approved to dismiss the lawsuit. So the lawsuit ended up getting dismissed at the district court. So she decided to go over the district court and go to the Supreme Court. So when she went to the Supreme Court, that's the reason why the Supreme Court justice newly elected Brown Jackson basically said, no, look, I agree with the new appeal. And basically it states here that in section 1983 that it protects all laws. So they were saying, no, it's not all laws. It's only for civil rights. And they was like, no, it's just not only for civil rights, it's all laws. So it's secured by the Constitution and federal laws to include all laws. So that was the issue on their hand. So they decided to keep it going through the federal law. And it was a 7-2 decision, basically, to enforce their rights to under the federal programs. So that's what they did. So it was a 7-2 decision, and it's be able to sue for the rights to protect under the Federal Nursing Home Reform Act. So the wife was able to sue the American Senior Communities LLC, like I said, the nursing home, and the Health and Hospital Corporation of Marion County for civil rights. So that's what ended up happening on that situation of hand. So that's the reason why it was a totally issue. But the Hospital of Health and Corporation basically saying that the federal nursing home laws is basically a constitution of the spending clause, which grants the Congress the power to spend money. And it's a contract between the federal government and the state government. So if it's a contract between the federal and the state government, whatever rules or laws that have been affected, it's between those contracts to come up with something that will be able to handle the situation. She cannot go around and say she want to sue directly. But the thing is, if she was in any other state, she can do that. But they saying because she's in Indiana that she cannot do that. She have to basically go through that whole process that I told you guys earlier. And whatever the opinion is, then you go through that situation. But she was like, no, I want to go through that situation. I want to be able to sue if you guys abuse my husband, or if my husband if she feel like it's abuse. So she feel like it's abuse. It's like, this is abuse, and I want to sue on the behalf because my husband was able to do this. Then now he got on psychotropic medication, and he's health started deteriorating. Then once he finally came off and reduced, he was starting to get back. Then it got even worse when the medication hit, and now they're trying to get him to all these psychiatric hospitals and try to get him in a dementia home, and didn't call her or anything of some sort. So she wanted to basically sue them for it, and she feel like she could directly go and sue them. Why she got to go through all this whole process? But that's the thing is, when you have a state-owned nursing home, then the hospitals are over it. So the hospitals are over it. They have a contract with amongst them, and they say, okay, this is the process. So if any rules is being violated, this is the process that we have, which is the medical malpractice claim. And they have a panel, and they come up with an opinion. So that's the thing. She said, no, I'm not coming up with an opinion. I'm not going out. I'm going directly to do this. So the district court, basically, they dismissed it. There was a motion to dismiss. She decided to go past the district court and went to the Supreme Court, where basically it was approved. 72, so she could be able to sue directly. So now that's becoming a huge issue, huge thing now, because over the years in Indiana, it was always, you have to go through the malpractice claim through the panel review. It always been like that. But now it's more than just a panel review. Now you can go and you can do it like this. And now that they won on this level, they feel like a lot of lawsuits are now finna come through Indiana due to this issue. So I was looking at it like, so now that I told you guys this, I want to give you guys my opinion on this situation. Okay. My opinion on this situation as a nursing home administrator. It can be very, very difficult, I know, for families to have individuals with dementia. A lot of these individuals cannot care for their loved ones who have dementia. A lot of individuals who have dementia, if you go back to past episodes we talked about this. If they have dementia, some of the symptoms that they have is basically they wander a lot. And they can wander into different residents' rooms. And when they do that, they don't know if it's a female room or whatever. So if they end up going to the wrong room, they could probably become competitive, or a resident can become competitive if a certain individual come in their room. So if this is a woman, it is a woman's room, and a man come in their room, they tell him to get out, and he don't want to get out. It can become a competitive issue on their end. So this right here becomes difficult because now he's Medicaid. We talked about this episodes so many episodes ago. So it's the difference between Medicaid and Medicare. So this situation is Medicaid, meaning that he's going to be there long term. So based on him being on there long term, they have to go through a certain process based on discharge or anything of some sort. So they tried to get him discharged to a dementia unit, and the family feel like they didn't receive any documentations. Sometimes family members will give you a hard time of trying to get that individual discharged to another facility. Plus, if you are in an area or a rural area, because sometimes the dementia units can be like 30 minutes, an hour away. And some individuals say, that's just too hard or too far for me to go and see my loved one. But sometimes those facilities can be the best facility for the residents based on the services. But a lot of individuals say, look, I understand it, but I'm not able to see my loved one when I want to see them. Why you guys don't have the services? Get individuals that have your services. So now that's where it becomes an issue, is these hospitals getting all this money. You guys can bring in certain individuals to care for these loved ones properly. But I would say, as a nursing home administrator, it is very important, if you have individuals who are a wonder, they need to be in a dementia unit. They have to. It's a plus. If you have a big nursing home and they could just walk, that is an issue. They can go out their door. It could be an elopement risk issue. You can put the nursing home on a lot of issues. So that can be a difficult issue. And of course, you have them to go back to the hospital. You know, when it comes to dementia, it can be very, very hard. Plus for the providers and also the families. So, like, I would tell the families out there, if you have your loved one and you know it's difficult and they have a wandering situation, they need to go to a secure unit. As an individual who started off as a memory care director, secure units are the best, because they have their own little staff that's back there that loves them, care for them, and they feel that they will give them the best love and everything. And the memory care director is specialized as a CDP, a certified dementia practitioner. So they will have programs, and they will also have basically certain ways to put their care plan together with a transitional plan to be able to help them transition into the dementia secure unit. So they will, if this individual is a wanderer, how do we help with them wandering? Add more programs. You can add more activities, things for them to do. Making sure, they eat and all this other stuff. eventually you have a place for them to be able to wander. That's the thing, to be able to wander. Have them to go outside. They can be able to walk, go outside whenever they want to, and they can go up there, walk down. It doesn't matter. It's simple and easy. When they start wandering, have the residents go into a common area. So if they do wander, whatever, it can be easy for them. Or put a sign on top of their room so they can know that's their room. So they look up, they can say, okay, that right there is my room. It's something about that to help them to know, okay, this is not my room. Okay, that right there is my room. So having a certified dementia practitioner who specializes in that, which is a memory care director, they will be able to do that. So a lot of individuals, families probably don't care because they want to just be close to their loved one. If you just have this assisted living nursing home that's right there, just 10 minutes away, and you say, okay, this dementia unit is 35, 45 minutes away, you like, I don't want to drive that far. I want to be able to drive up the street and just go and see my loved one. But sometimes that can be detrimental to your loved one to be able to do that. And also I would tell certain nursing homes, because they be wanting residents so bad, and you have to understand your nursing home. Are you guys able to admit an individual who have dementia who wanders? So when you go in and see, that's where at times where these DON and other individuals need to be, admission coordinators need to be able to go and speak to the families and see this resident to see, are they a wander? Do they wander? Do they wander off? You actually need to sit down and see them. You can actually tell if an individual is a wander, because they're not going to stay in one spot. You can just see them and they can just get up. You like, yes, this individual is a wander. So if your nursing home did not have a security unit or a dementia unit, that right there will be very difficult. Plus, if they want to go in and out. So it's hard because a lot of nursing homes be wanting residents and they want their money. But on the other hand, they don't have the individuals there to care for the loved one on a proper level, so which can be an issue. And if there is another facility for the loved ones to go to, a lot of families say, no, I don't want to go to that facility. Y'all should have did this in the beginning. But families also need to understand that their loved ones can basically, their status can change in any moment, plus with dementia. So that's the thing on that end. So my opinion on the situation is, I wish they would have did a better admission process with this loved one, so they would be able to go into the nursing home properly. But you're talking about 2016 to now, she's suing. So that person been there for a long time. So that right there, I feel, things like that can change. So no loved one wants to see their loved ones deteriorating. Plus, if they see them getting better, plus off of psychotropic medications. So, and plus, when you try to discharge, I tell all the administrators, please go through the proper process to do so, because it's always a proper process. No one wants to talk about the proper process, but it is a proper process. So please go through the proper process of discharging. Plus, when I told you guys about the difference between Medicare and Medicaid and private pay. So on my other episode, I did talk about that. So please go to the episodes where I talk about discharge planning, so you can be able to understand the difference in between that. So how do I feel about the state-owned nursing homes? I like it because some is pros and cons. The things I like about it is the fact is they is connected with the nursing home, hospitals, so they can be on one accord. People say, well, they charge for this service and charge for this service and whatever. A lot of individuals charge for a lot of services. That's just how it is. They always charge for a lot of services. I just want to make sure that the residents are still being cared for like they supposed to be cared for. So if they have all this money and they get like 4 or 5 times much money than an average nursing home somewhere else, then they should be able to get these courses together and be able to get individuals to take these CNA courses, because you got all the nurses, you got all this, you tapped in right there with all the nurses in the hospital, all the RNs, the doctors, and everything. So having RNs or doctors or anything to go into their nursing home should not be a problem. So to basically, if you need like regular care, you should be able to get CNAs, get the courses, get them going, get them flowing, and make sure you be able to spend out the money. So if you are already going out raising these prices, you should be able to get the money to be able to get these individuals. So now that's where it becomes greedy. That's where individuals said they wanted to know how much the executives are getting paid, because the executives at the hospitals and nursing homes are getting paid a lot of money. Plus, if you're talking about these nursing homes, approximately $5 million, basically almost have than some of these nursing homes around here. So the pay is definitely increased. So I would definitely say, yeah. So I would definitely say that as a nursing home, yeah, I'm a nursing home administrator, but at the same time, I would want to know, like, how much, how much are y'all paying? If this is a government agency, you should be able to know how much these individuals are getting paid on their level. If it's on the government, so if it's state owned and it's government, you should be able to get the information. You should be able to know how much executive directors are getting paid. You should be able to know how much money is diverted into a nursing home that is state owned. You should be able to get that information. That information right there should be on. It should be public. Not even public. Certain individuals should be able to ask for the information, and it should be able to be available. It's not because of certain contracts in place, and that's how they say is in Indiana, is they creating contracts where they are putting those clauses in there, so certain things will not get out. So this why they say it's a secret trade, due to the fact that certain contracts. So these contracts say basically you want this money, such as such, you have to follow this A, B, and C, and this is how much. So that's how the reason why certain stuff like that happen. So I hope this right here episode have been very, very informative, informational. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Your girl's back. Well, I wasn't even gone that long, but you know. So thank you guys for watching. I do really, really appreciate it. I love you guys. I've been doing this for so long. It's since the beginning of this year I am doing this. So thank you guys, and please follow me on all the platforms that's out there. You can type in BLAHC, BLAHC. Thank you guys so much, and goodbye.